What is up, guys? TD here, bringing you our duo guide to Ragnaros and Firelands on 10-man difficulty. Firelands, it's been a long, strange trip, ending with Ragnaros, and surprisingly we had less trouble fighting Ragnaros than we did Major Domo. It's not really a bad fight, and honestly, I know I at least was pretty sloppy in this fight and really wasn't expecting to get through it this quick. It was only maybe our third attempt on him, and we were really just learning the fight, seeing what was going to happen, because as I've said with my other videos for Firelands, we had never done Firelands before. We didn't watch any videos or anything, just kind of took a quick look into the dungeon guide and then jumped into it, because it's a little more fun for us that way to just kind of learn the encounter as we go. But first thing you're going to notice is the burning wound stacks. After the fact, I did watch a couple other videos and saw some interesting use of mechanics in order to avoid this for the most part. Apparently you can have a pet of some kind, Death Knight or the Shaman, Hunter, whatever, be up close, and he will only use the burning wound on targets within melee range, so one person who is per se tanking him could dip in and out and let the pet take the stacks of burning wound. But I took the stacks for it and didn't really have too much trouble with it. It does get pretty high up there, 50,000 a tick and whatnot, but it's nothing that's not manageable if you have decent self-healing, if you're bringing a Death Knight or a Monk or etc, etc. And now when he slams Sulfurous down and goes below, he summons the Sons of Flame, which, if anybody remembers old Ragnaros, similar situation, except for these Sons of Flame spawn and rush straight towards the hammer. They don't attack, they don't do anything, they just run straight to the hammer, because when they hit the hammer, they explode and deal a ton of damage to everybody. Usually between 80 and 100,000. It's quite nasty, so if they all manage to make it, you're pretty much going to die. So you want to be ready and waiting as soon as they spawn to jump on them and take them down. And they actually have a speed boost that drops off as you damage them, but as you can see, most of them only took 1 to 2 hits to really take down. They don't have a ton of health. There'll also be some other molten elemental adds that spawn throughout the fight. They're not too big of a deal. They do a decent amount of damage, nothing really to be worried about too much. They only have about 1.5 million health. Ragnaros keeps doing his burning wound and slamming his hammer down, throwing some lava waves, things that you need to avoid, circles on the ground you need to avoid, usual raid stuff. And then he'll go back, do another phase transition where he'll summon even more Sons of Flame that you'll need to take down, along with the extra molten lava scion guys. And if you have decent gear, you should generally have around 500,000 health at minimum. So you can let several get by and hit the hammer and not actually have to worry about dying, but the less damage you can take is always better. And the last phase is a little bit more of a pain. We still had adds up, unless you DPS them down super fast, which we don't have that great of gear, so people in even regular rating or heroic rating gear will have an easier time with this than we did. But when you get to phase 3, he starts throwing down these meteors along with everything else that just kind of land on the ground and chase after you. And when they hit you, they deal damage and do a knockback and all kinds of nasty stuff. So you'll see a fixate debuff and a laser beam between the two of you to know that one's coming after you. So you just kind of run away from it as best as you can while still trying to fight Ragnaros. Now, something interesting, I don't know if it's, I guess it's made this way that maybe stage 4 is only heroic mode or something to that degree. Like I said, we've never done this before, but I did see a phase 4 in the dungeon journal where he was supposed to come out of the lava and actually start walking around the platform, and some other stuff was supposed to happen, but it doesn't. The fight just kind of ends when he hits 5 million health, so I'm assuming that must be like a heroic mode thing where it does that. So basically at this point, as long as you can avoid the meteors and the massive amounts of fire on the ground and survive the massive stacks of burning wound, that's the end of the fight. You just finish getting his health down. Like I said, he got to around 5 million and he just went under him. That was the end of it. So thank you guys for watching. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video, and I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this Firelands series, and I will see you on the next video.